core release is a wonderful pose for the second or third chakra as it provides an incredible abdominal massage. We'll start with a blanket and a small bolster. We'll place the small bolster near the back of the mat, and the blanket from the eighth fold will simply roll up lengthwise. There are 3 different positions for this pose. One where the blanket lays straight across the mat, one where it's folded into a V to get into the lower abdominal area, and then reversing that one where it's in a mountain shape where the top of the mountain goes into the solar plexus. If rolling the blanket from the eighth fold feels too intense for the abdominals, open out to a quarter fold and roll it lengthwise. This will create a smaller bolster which will feel more manageable for the belly. The abdominal area contains vital organs that are the only vital organs not protected by a bony structure, such as the rib cage for the lungs and heart, or the cranium for the brain. So we're going to find on our body the bottom of the rib cage and the hip bones, and that is the area where we're going to work. If the bolster is underneath the rib cage or the hip bones, we won't feel the benefits of this pose. Because of the lack of bony protection, we sometimes unconsciously hold a lot of tension in the belly area. So ensure that that bolster is in the softness of the belly. Arms go back underneath of the folds of the blanket and head turns to the side. The longer you stay here, you may feel your heartbeat in this area. That is due to increased blood flow. If you'd like to intensify the sensation, you can bend one knee, maybe circling, and then circling the other way, adding to the massage that is occurring in the abdominal area. To intensify even more, bend both knees, and you can crisscross at the shins. Just creating a little movement in here, pointing and flexing the feet, or even circling the ankles. If you'd like to go even further into the belly, be sure to keep the belly soft, turn the forehead to the ground, reach back and take hold of the feet, moving into a bow pose very slowly. The tendency here will be to harden the abdominal wall against the bolster, but this will be counterproductive for what we're shooting for, which is a deep abdominal massage. If you are able to lift the head, then first harden the belly so you feel what not to do, and then soften it and take a few breaths in bow with a really soft belly before you come out. When you're ready to come out, you release the legs, relax the arms, and breathe here, shaking the hips side to side. To release that back bend, place the hands by the side, face the ground, and then slowly peel yourself up into a child's pose to rest. Let's move into the second position now. So we'll take the bolster and now fold it into a V. This is great for the second chakra because it gets in between the hip bones in the lower belly area. Important thing here to keep in mind is that as we lower the lower belly onto that lower point of the V, we want to ensure that the arms of the bolster do not go underneath of the rib cage or the hip bones, but go out the sideways between the rib cage and the hip bones. So the point of the V is underneath the belly, in the lowest part, near the pubic bone, and then the arms can either rest above the bolster or tuck underneath. The third position for this core release exercise will target the third chakra. So we'll create a mountain-like structure with the apex of that mountain underneath the solar plexus, which is a very sensitive spot in between the rib cage, right below the breastbone. So we'll get it nice and set up the same way, but just in reverse. Placing the ankles on the bolster, and then lowering the solar plexus onto that point, and it can be very intense. And then mindfully adjusting the sides of that V or that mountain to go out the side waist between the rib cage and the hip bones. As you rest here, remember that you can bend one knee, both knees, or even go into that bow pose. Just be mindful of breathing and keeping the belly soft. Great work.